Hello everyone, let's proceed to the third part of our lecture. We will be discussing the evolution of global marketing. Okay, so let's take a look at the evolution of global marketing, wherein of course it starts with your domestic marketing. So this is basically the first stage of the evolution of a company to become a global market. So marketing scope of the company is only within the country's boundary. Okay, the focus is to fulfill the needs and wants of local customers. Next is export marketing. So this is the second stage of your global marketing. They sell directly to overseas customers. So the manufacturing process are done locally, but the company sells it both domestically and selected targeted market in other countries. We call it export marketing. So there are two types of export marketing. We have the indirect and the direct. So direct or indirect exporting is relying on third-party companies to handle and distribute the product of the company from the company. Direct marketing, this is a method wherein there is involvement level of a company. It means that the company sells directly to customers overseas. So this is an example of your indirect exporting. So there is a third party to sell the company to other countries. Okay, here is an example. ABC company manufactures jet aircraft components. Okay, so the components are sold to Boeing, so that is another company. Okay, and then Boeing would sell or use the components in its manufacturing, and then of course sell the products to other countries. And then direct exporting, so the company directly export their product to other countries. Okay, so of course, these are examples of companies that directly sell their products to other countries. Okay, and then the third evolution of global marketing now is your international marketing. So this is the third stage of the evolution. The basic factor that has been used to customize the product is those customers from other countries. Okay, so a proper example of international marketing is when a company manufactures products in one certain country, but they also consider selling their products to their neighborhood country. Okay, so here is an example. Okay, and then we have, of course, now the stage wherein there is multinational marketing. So in this stage, the focus of the company is more on the regional basis. It means they will customize the products based on region-wide customer preferences. Okay. So here are examples of multinational marketing products or products who practice multinational marketing. And then finally, we have global marketing. So in global marketing, the manufacturing plants that the companies have spread all over the world. Okay, and their targeted markets are every place in the world, or the so-called global market. So there are three main activities. So standardization, coordination, and of course, global integration. So why do firms go global? Business is, of course, a profit maximizing enterprise. Firms go where profits are, of course, maximized. Another is higher rates of profits, expanding production capacities for reduced production cost, availability of raw materials, cheap labor, high-end technology, skilled worker managerial competence, and of course, favorability of climate. And there is also limited growth opportunities in domestic market. So these are the reasons why firms would actually go global. All right. Now let's take a look at the different management orientations. Okay. So in management orientations, we have your so-called EPRG, or your ethnocentric, polycentric, regiocentric, and geocentric. First, when we speak of your ethnocentric, okay, so this is a management orientation which is associated with the attitude of arrogance or the assumption of national superiority. So ethnocentric companies who conduct business outside the country can be described as international companies. They adhere to the notion that product or the products that they sell succeed or in their home country because it is superior there. Okay, sorry for that. So the point of view leads to standardization or extension approach. Okay, there you go. Okay, the next management orientation is polycentric. So this is the opposite of ethnocentrism. So the term polycentric describes management's belief or assumption that each country in which the company does business is actually unique. So their point of view leads to localized or adaptation approach. Okay? It assumes that products must be adapted in response to different market condition. Okay. So these are example of polycentric orientation. So Walmart, they adopt to the practice. So Walmart is an American company, and they operate their business in China, but of course they have to adopt to the culture of China. Okay, so regiocentric orientation. So a firm tries to balance its own interest and of course the interests of its subsidiaries on a regional basis. So they adopt the product based on regional basis. So a firm treats a region as a uniform market segment and adopts similar marketing strategies within the region. Okay, but it would be different across the region. So based on region. Right? Like for example, in Arab countries, okay, McDonald's would adopt their strategy based on the region, like Middle East or maybe Muslim dominated countries. Okay, we call it regiocentric. And then we have your geocentric orientation. So they view the world as a potential market and strives to develop integrated global strategies. Okay, so the company uses now global approach to decision making. Sorry. Okay, so there in your regiocentric orientation, we have your so-called global products with local variations. They combine the best features of geocentric and polycentric strategies. Okay, headquarters redistributes profits among subsidiaries to meet capital investment and budget needs. And their view, basically, they have worldview that sees similarities and differences in markets and try now to create a global strategy that is fully responsive to local needs and, of course, wants. Okay, so these are example of products who adopt the geocentric orientation. Okay, there. Okay, to sum it up, So in your EPRG framework, if we speak of your ethnocentric orientation, they do not adopt the products based on the needs and wants of other countries, okay, where they operate. In your polycentric, they believe that each market is unique. Therefore, they adopt their products based on the country where they operate. In your regiocentric, so in here, their focus basically is economic, cultural, or political similarities among regions. Okay. In your geocentric, the main idea is to target global consumers, okay, who have similar tastes, and of course, to borrow from every country what is best. So that is your geocentric orientation. Okay, there. In addition to that, if you take a look at your EPRG model in terms of their approach, vision, priority, planning center, and structure. So in your ethnocentric, of course, international operations in terms of approach is secondary. Their vision, as compared to your polycentric and regiocentric, each country is relatively independent, and your geocentric, they view the world as a common market. So in terms of vision, for ethnocentric, it's centered on domestic market. For polycentric, they see each market as unique. For geocentric, there is a global vision of the world. In terms of priority, for ethnocentric, their priority is, of course, domestic. Okay? For polycentric, they take into consideration the differences in foreign markets. And for geocentric, they identify differences, okay, of the world market. So for planning, national headquarters for ethnocentric, subsidiary in each country for polycentric, and world headquarters for geocentric. In terms of structure, ethnocentric has international division. For polycentric, there is division for each zone. And then for geocentric, there is the so-called matrix structure.